Beatles and was instrumental in their breakup. Now there's a new book that charges she indeed was a destructive force and whose author claims she created an international incident by setting up the drug arrest of Paul McCartney.
I was in the office when the phone calls were being made to Japan.
Fred Seaman was John Lennon's closest personal assistant during the last 2 years of the singer's life. In his new book, Seaman claims that when Paul McCartney was arrested in Japan in January 1980 for drug possession, it was the result of a plot between Lennon and his wife Yoko Ono. A plot that began when McCartney called Ono in New York City.
Paul said that he was going to Japan and he was going to be staying at the presidential suite of the Hotel Okura. And he also said that either he or Linda had scored some dynamite marijuana and suggested coming over and smoking some with John.
Seaman writes that in the still bitter aftermath of the Beatles' breakup, Yoko Ono went to great lengths to prevent any of the group from contacting Lennon. She rejected the idea for the pot party at Lennon's home. In the meantime, McCartney's plan for him and his wife Linda to stay in the same hotel room the Lennons used when they visited Japan caused an uproar.
That really was very upsetting to John and Yoko, the thought that Paul and Linda McCartney might sleep in their bed at the Hotel Okura. That couldn't happen because the way they looked at it, it would spoil their hotel karma forever. So John and Yoko got together and they decided to do something, and Yoko told John that she would take care of it.
According to Seaman, McCartney's very public arrest was no accident.
In fact, the Japanese knew that he was carrying because later I learned that Yoko, through intermediaries, had tipped off airport authorities. All she did was make a couple of phone calls.
The authorities searched McCartney's luggage and found a half pound of marijuana.
So Paul was taken off to jail, and this created a great glee at the Dakota. John, particularly John, was very cheerful about it. He was very happy because, he liked to sort of tweak Paul, and the fact that Paul was now, his tour was in ruin, and he wouldn't move into hotel just pleased John enormously.
Paul McCartney apologized to the Japanese for his misdeeds and was released from jail after 10 days. He was kicked out of Japan. Seaman says John Lennon kept track of the whole story.
He followed Paul's ordeal in great detail, and the thing that he liked most was when he found out that Paul was apparently being forced, that's what we had heard, to play Yesterday for the Japanese guards. So that was just too much for John. He loved it.
A spokesman for Yoko Ono says she was not involved in any way with the arrest of Paul McCartney and that the story is simply not true, and Paul McCartney had no comment. On tomorrow's Inside Story, the author of The Last Days of John Lennon says the pop music superstar actually predicted his own death.
Last week, when actor Brad Davis died at the age of 41, Hollywood learned